let's go find a rat or a mouse or something. Come on, let's go look.
It's a mouse but not rat.
Come check it out. There's a hole right here under that rock. Boon, you're right in the way, dude. Either go down it or move. That's rat size. That's definitely not mouse size. Look, Boon's not even looking at it though, so there's nothing in it now. Look. Anything in there? No, he doesn't even look at it. So it's empty, but there's some signs of rat activity. So based off of Boon's reactions, that's clearly empty because he's not even looking at it. But that's obviously where they've been digging around. So let's keep looking, see if we can find an active hole. He's starting to look for stuff. Like this entire time I couldn't get him to get out from under my feet, and now he's actually sniffing around, so maybe that's, we'll see. Oh, close. He's got one. Where is it? Did he still have it? Or did he lose it? I heard a squeak. Oh, he's got it. It's right there. It's right in that bush. He's got it.
Hey, Daddy.
You got the rat. Good job. Good job, Boon.
This is nice and pretty. Oh, Daddy, I love this.
Okay, so we're going to try and go for multiples here, if we can. Okay, let's go for another. That was quick and easy. So this is the second time we've come out and just caught one real easy, so let's see if we can get a second one. Got another one?
There's another one over there.
Another one. Ah, Shirley, stay out of it. There's the second one?
Yeah.
Outside you. He came all the way back because that's where the box was and I saw last. Nice. So there's the third one, so we'll go for that third one. You saw it, David?
Yeah.
Where did it go? Which way did it go?
This is the way he's running.
So it ran this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can get a third one and then we'll call it. We'll feed him up after that. Find the other one, Boon. Find the other rat. Where is it? He must have kept going because you think he would have found it. I don't know. He's running around silly. He's not really searching for it. He's looking for another tree. Okay, so I just realized my mistake. So we caught two rats really close together and we saw a third one run. I kind of assumed he'd go and find it and catch it just as easy, but that one obviously got smart and took off. I don't want to frustrate him after he just brought two rats back in a row. I want to make sure I reward him. So I'm giving him just another second to find that rat, and then I'm going to throw a dead one in the bushes. And when he brings that back, I'll feed him up. And then we'll take Shirney and see if she can maybe get lucky and find the other rat, but it's probably down a hole, so I don't know if that will happen. But either way, I don't want to mess him up his caching training, and basically I don't want him to feel robbed. And he clearly feels robbed right now because he's not out looking for another rat. He's here begging me for food. So that body language is what's telling me I'm doing it wrong. If he was out actively hunting for another rat, excited to catch another rat, then that's great. We should keep doing multiples. But where he's more wanting to eat than he is wanting to hunt, we should just reward him and be done and not mess up his training. So let's give him another second to find that rat, and then I'll toss a dead one in the bushes. There we go. Let's feed him up. He did a great job with caching. We don't want to mess up his training trying to get multiples at this point. Like I said, if he was more interested in hunting than eating, it would be different. I'd say, hey, let's keep going. It was really a mistake. I should have been reading his body language, but I have a bad habit of getting excited in the heat of the moment and not thinking clearly. And that was one of those, oh, let's go get another one. Oh, and I wasn't really thinking. I was just kind of adrenaline rush. So fortunately though, I stopped and thought and said, okay, what's more important, training my mink or catching a third rat? And obviously training my mink is way more important. So we're gonna feed him up here and we'll see if Shirney maybe can find it. We'll see. That's for it to be hiding in here. Shirney, where's the rat? Come here, look. Sniff, sniff. Where's the rat? Use your nose. Where's the rat? Good girl. Good girl. Where's the rat? Good girl. Good dog. Oh, she looks excited. I think she wins it. I think the scent's coming on the wind. She'll probably just find it in a hole, but maybe we could dig it out or something like that. Down under that rock?
He's right there. He's behind it.
Oh, good girl. Get it. Good girl. Good dog. Get it. Darn, that's a perfect spot for the mink. Oh, is he hiding in that bush? That's hilarious. See these bushes, even when they're cut this short, they make a difference. He's obviously not going to get away like he would have before. Good girl. Get over it. Good girl. Good girl. Breathe in. That's a good girl. Oh yeah, that's a good girl. So yeah, that was good. She got to use her nose. You know, you saw her, she was trailing it this direction and the breeze is blowing this way. It is kind of interesting. You could see when she switched from trailing to following the scent in the wind. She started out just following the trail on the ground, but as the breeze started blowing scent towards her, she suddenly lifted her head up and you could see her working differently, and then wind scented it right to that little hole in the rocks. Good girl. I kind of thought we were going to lose it not using the mink because I just assumed it would be down in a hole we couldn't access, but lucky us, it was just in a crack where we could easily push it out. So that was perfect. Good girl, Shirney. Good girl. So yeah, it's good. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I was wise enough to say, okay, let's let the dog do it and not mess with the mink's training. But yeah, let's check out what we caught. I think one of them had white on it. Let's see. Look at this one. It's got a little white stripe on its side. It's pretty common for rats to have little white splotches like this on the belly. And that one farm, you know, you get full-on hooded rats, but this one's got, I don't even know what you call that color. It's like the white belly spots like come up onto its side a little bit. So it's interesting. And you see, these are typical of the rats. Well, actually this one's pretty good sized, but this one's typical of the rat you'd find in a place like this. Like I mentioned before, in more natural settings where the rats are foraging rather than getting human supplemented food, they don't get as big. This is pretty normal. Sometimes they're a little smaller, sometimes they're a little bigger, but this is very average, what you would expect to find. This one has actually been eating better than I would expect. A lot of times they're skinnier than this, but it's probably because of the great harvest of acorns right now. I mean, there's just like an unlimited supply of acorns, so it would make sense they're a little bit fat. I'm really excited about this little guy. He's showing a lot of promise as far as he's fun to work with, super pleasure to work with, really good caching mink. He's doing good on rats, obviously, as you saw. So I'm super excited to see what he does on muskrats. I'm just praying that he turns out to a good muskrat hunter because, another good thing, he's really aquatic. He's really good at diving and swimming underwater and loves the water, which is obviously key for muskrats. So I've got some high hopes for this little guy. Really excited to see how he turns out. And fall is just days away. We're sitting here in September. Middle of October is when we start hunting muskrats. I'm probably going to be a little cautious about introducing him right away, but pretty soon into probably around the middle to end of October, we're going to start hunting those muskrats. So the canals, what happens, kind of our cycle of doing things, our state has no season, no legal season for muskrats. So I kind of put my own little season on things just to kind of preserve their numbers and to make sure, you know, we still have plenty to hunt in the future. So what my little season is, I start October 15th and I end April 15th. So that basically skips the breeding season, gives them a break, lets them reproduce. And muskrats, you know, just like you would assume with the name rat, they breed really fast and they reproduce, and by fall, there's all the places that we've hunted out are full of muskrats again. So it allows us to then go in and hunt. Also, there's a second reason for that season. So I do get paid for pest control jobs. Obviously, we're not trying to, in our pest control situations, we're not trying to preserve rat numbers. We're trying to keep them at an all-time low or wipe them out. It's kind of impossible to wipe them out, but keep them down low. So you may wonder, well, why aren't you hunting year-round in those pest control areas? Well, some of them I do. There are certain city parks that I can hunt year-round, but the canals are so full of really deep, murky water that it's almost impossible to hunt the muskrats there. So rather than waste my time fighting an uphill battle trying to catch these muskrats that are almost impossible to catch, we wait until they drain the canals, because these canals are for irrigation, so obviously they're not growing crops in the winter. So they turn the canals off in the middle of October, and that allows us to now have a bunch of vulnerable muskrats that need to be removed for pest control purposes. And great way to obviously gather meat for the mink, have a lot of fun. So from October 15th to April 15th is kind of the season I've set for myself. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we'll show you more next time.